Hi, welcome back to Bases to Bleachers. I'm not a Yankees fan, but I grew up one. I was 5 years old when the Giants and Dodgers left New York. So by the time I started following baseball, I was 8. It was 1960. The Yankees were the only game in town. And when you like baseball and you had Mickey Mantle running around center field and hitting home runs, what more could you possibly want? I was a huge Yankees fan. I'm from Long Island, so when the Mets came around, I became a Mets fan as well. But I stayed a Yankees fan because I don't think that you can only like one team in your area. In 1969, I went to Mickey Mantle's retirement day. That's the story I'm going to read to you now. It's from my book, Backyards to Ballparks. He retired. Steinbrenner took over a few years later and changed baseball in a way that I didn't particularly like. So honestly, my Yankee fandom came to an end. But my love of Mickey Mantle, who is the only sports hero I will ever have, remains. Here's my story. It's from the chapter that's called Mickey, Willie, and the Other Greats of the Golden Age of Baseball. Somehow, someway, I managed to have a ticket to the Yankees game on June 8th, 1969. This was no ordinary game. It was Mickey Mantle Day at Yankee Stadium. I was going to the game at which his iconic number 7 would be retired. I was 16 years old, and my first love had been the Yankees, with all due respect to Adele, my 6th-grade girlfriend, who happens to have a story in this book. By 1969, my baseball affections were split between the Yankees and the amazing Mets, who had captivated the nation by winning the 1969 World Series. But on this day, nothing mattered more than being there to honor my sports hero, the only sports hero I've ever had. Sitting in the upper deck, down the left field line, I, along with 300,000 fans, you know what they say, far more people witness every major baseball event than the stadiums could possibly hold. We all sat in anxious anticipation. What would the festivities entail? Which Yankee greats, all of them it turned out, would be there to participate? My memories of this day are faint, although research has helped. I don't know who I was with, but it must have been my dad. I don't remember the Yankees' opponent or who won, although the internet had told me that the Yankees swept the White Sox in a doubleheader. I remember a 13-and-a-half-minute standing ovation, although accounts I've read range from 6 minutes to 20. I was even wrong about what I was certain I accurately remembered, Mantle's golf cart drive around the park to kick off the festivities. That ride apparently occurred after the ceremonies. Incidentally, he passed by my section at about 1.5 minutes into his 2.5-minute ride. None of these details are important. All that is important is I was there, and I know my eyes were quite moist. Was this my favorite game of all time? I talk about several games in my stories in the books, and I guess I'm just not prepared to make that call. I do know that along with the 61,000 plus fans who really were there that day, I think of that day often and still with moist eyes. My Mantle story comes to an end on August 13th, 1995. I was in Yosemite, a family camp with my wife and my kids, and I got the news that Mickey Mantle had passed away. I cried. Mickey Mantle was my only sports hero, as I've said before. I even bought a Yankee shirt because the only way I could possibly get Mickey Mantle was that Yankee shirt. That's my number 7. That's Mickey Mantle. I hope you've enjoyed this story. Please check back to Bases to Bleachers. If you like the stories, please like them, share them, comment on them, and tell your friends about this channel. And as always, please tell me your story.